Be me. 24, grew up a tomboy. Midwestern town, always been one of the boys. Even as a kid, hated all the princess stuff. Was the roughest girl on the playground, tackled the boys, scraped my knees, and grinned about it. At home, Mom always nagged me to be softer and sit properly, whatever that meant. My room was full of skateboards, comics, and soccer medals. Felt different, but proud of it. Had a crush on my friend Emily in 5th grade. Told everyone it was just envy, but I'd stare when she braided her hair, wondered if I could hold her hand one day. Teachers always said, "You should act like a lady." Friends' moms joked I'd grow out of it. I didn't. By 12, figured out that being a tomboy wasn't enough. I wanted to be strong, respected, never underestimated, just like how all men feel. Knew I liked girls, but girls like guys. Thought maybe I'd have a shot that way. Didn't just want to be seen, wanted to be wanted. And I thought, maybe if I became what they wanted, I'd finally get to be the one holding her hand. Used to watch my guy friends get girls with zero effort. They didn't even have to be nice. Meanwhile, I could listen for hours, remember birthdays, hype them up, still just the friend. Felt like I was playing the wrong class in an MMO. Like I'd accidentally rolled female on character creation and now I was doomed to spend my life in support role while guys just tanked their way through. So I figured, if I looked like a guy, maybe I'd get picked too. Not because I hated being a girl, but because I hated being ignored, and I thought masculinity was the fix. No one warned me it was just another costume. Saw how boys got treated, envied how easy it looked. They didn't get dress-coded, nobody told them to smile or be polite. Even when they screwed up, it was, boys will be boys. I had to work twice as hard just to keep up. In my head, being a guy was a cheat code to life. Men didn't have to worry about looks, periods, creepy stares, or being too much. Thought men just coasted by. Strong, free, zero drama. Used to rant about it constantly. Would send voice notes to my friends like, "Ugh, imagine being a guy and not having to think about your safety 24/7. They could walk home at 2 a.m. and not clutch their keys. Could gain 20 pounds and still pull. Could post a selfie and not get judged for lighting, angles, filters. Guys didn't need soft skills, they could just exist. Even average dudes got second chances. Fired? He's just figuring it out." Meanwhile, women have to have a LinkedIn, a skincare routine, and emotional intelligence just to get a text back. I used to say, if I was a man, I'd be unstoppable. Saw that being a dude was just gym, money, girls. Like a video game on easy mode. Online was where it all clicked. Tumblr, YouTube, Instagram, every other post was, girl becomes boy, finds happiness. Only 1% of trans people regretted transitioning. Could you believe that? It must be because men have too many privileges. Those transition vlogs looked like magic. Awkward girls to cool, confident guys. Comments full of, "So brave," "You're handsome now," "Wish I could too." Everywhere I looked, the message was the same. "You're trans, you just don't know it yet." Couldn't stop thinking about it after that. Started lurking in trans forums, DM'd a few older trans guys. Everyone said testosterone was the key. Deep voice, muscles, respect, finally seen for who you are. I wanted that. Not just to fit in, but to win. So I started dropping hints at 15. Told my folks I wanted a binder for Christmas. Mom freaked, Dad said, "It's just a phase." But I was stubborn as hell. Every family dinner was a battleground. They thought they could talk me out of it. I thought they didn't get it. How hard it was to be stuck in the middle. By 17, went to Planned Parenthood, got a referral for hormone therapy. My hands shook the day I got my first testosterone shot. Looked in the mirror, told myself, this is it. You're going to be happy now. For the first year, it was almost true. My jaw got sharper, my voice dropped, hair everywhere. The euphoria hit hard. Cut my hair, bought new clothes, walked down the street with my chest out. My old friends faded, but online, I was finally one of the guys. People started using he without being told. Felt like a cheat code, like I'd hacked my own body. I was hungry for more. Double mastectomy at 19. The scars were ugly, but I called them battle wounds. Started lifting weights, obsessed with getting bigger. Guys at the gym nodded at me, sometimes even called me bro. I thought this was the peak. Nobody told me that's where the peak ends. After the surgery, the hormones, the years of chasing validation, life got weird. The world stopped cheering. In high school, I used to complain that boys could be invisible if they wanted. Now I realized it wasn't a privilege. It was a curse. Invisible was the default. Walked downtown one night, hoodie up, hands cold. Just wanted to feel like part of the city. Accidentally brushed a woman's shoulder. She flinched like I pulled a knife. Muttered, "Sorry," and kept walking. Saw a couple laughing outside a P.O. place. Girl leaning into him like the world was safe. Felt like a ghost. Checked reflection in a shop window. Looked like any guy. Maybe that's the problem. No one sees you. They just scan and avoid. Man equals threat. No one tells you that part. You go from being looked at too much to not being looked at all, except in fear. Went to college out of state, first time on my own. Thought it would be freedom. Turns out it was just loneliness. Roommate ignored me, barely spoke, just wanted his own space. Tried joining clubs, but it's like I didn't exist. Girls didn't talk to me unless they had to. Other guys kept things shallow. They'd fist bump, call me dude, but never invited me out. So I forced myself to be positive. Told myself guys don't need deep bonds, just need to grind, stay focused. I bought a mini whiteboard, wrote down daily goals like a podcast. Bro, wake up early, lift, read 10 pages. Kept thinking if I acted like a successful man, I'd feel like one. Even bought self-help books by guys with jawlines and six-packs. One said, never show weakness, it's prey behavior. So I stopped texting anyone first, stopped venting, stopped crying, started lying to my mom on the phone, said everything was fine. College is great. I'm making friends. Classes are tough, but good. Hung up, then sat in silence for hours, scrolling through TikToks about stoicism. They said pain makes you stronger. But all it made me was quiet. Quiet and tired. One time I laughed too hard in class. Some guy turned around and went, "Yo bro, chill." Like even my joy was too much. So I laughed less. Became what I thought men were supposed to be. Then wondered why I felt less human every day. Missed the days when girls just cared. They'd check in, notice if you were sad. Now, nobody noticed. At first I told myself I was just awkward. It would get better. But every semester, it was the same. Applied for dozens of jobs. Retail, warehouses, even office gigs. Sometimes got interviews. They'd look at my resume, then at me. Saw the short, scrawny dude with the weird voice and the nervous smile. Could see their brain doing the math. Never got the call back. Finally landed a warehouse job. Thought I could prove myself, blend in. First week on the warehouse floor, they gave me the heaviest cart without asking. Older guys nodded like, let's see if you're built for this. My spine said no, but I pushed through. Blisters on day 3. Cut my palm on a broken crate. Asked for a bandage. Manager said, we don't babysit. Everyone laughed. Nobody offered help. I used duct tape and kept moving. Lunch break, sat on a crate alone. Older guy next to me offered me half his sandwich. Said, first week's always hell. Tried to joke back. He just nodded, said, you'll either get used to it or you'll quit. Then went back to eating. Couldn't complain, didn't want to be the weak one. Realized as a guy, you're only as useful as your last task. Was always sore, always tired. Lifting heavy boxes, keeping up with the older guys who'd been there forever. Nobody cared if I was tired. Missed a shift after getting sick. Supervisor said, that's how it is. Laid in bed that night, arms aching, chest tight. Thought about quitting, then heard my dad's voice in my head. You wanted to be a man. This is it. Stared at the ceiling, wondered, is this what men mean when they say, figure it out? No help, no softness, just survival and silence. Felt replaceable. Eventually got fired for not being reliable. Rent was late. My parents told me to man up and figure it out. Tried dating, downloaded every app, made my profile, tried to look cool. Crickets. Girls didn't swipe right. When I did get a match, they'd unmatch after a couple texts. I'd say I have sharp features and am pretty good looking, even as a guy now. And still, I tried to cope. Told myself maybe I just wasn't trying hard enough. Kept thinking, nah, guys with confidence still make it. Followed influencers who talked about mindset and being a high-value man. They drove Beamers, wore watches thicker than my wrist, made YouTube videos from Bali about financial freedom. I told myself, see, it's not that bad. Guys just have to level up. Kept grinding, took cold showers, started journaling, even tried NoFap. Waited for life to reward me. It didn't. Turns out, those guys are the top 1%, and they were already winning. Most men don't get cameras or villas or dream girls. Most men are just tired. Tired and quiet and forgotten. But you don't see them on reels. You only see the ones who made it, so you think you're the problem. But maybe the problem is thinking being a man is something you can win at. Had one date, she barely made eye contact, ended it after coffee. Showed up early, nervous but hopeful. Tried to be funny, polite, asked about her dog. She looked at her phone the whole time, asked what I did before, mumbled something about transitioning. She went quiet, said, "Oh," and changed the subject to her ex. Date lasted 22 minutes. Hurts more because I always wanted to love women, soft, kind, slow, like a fairy tale without the cringe. But now I just feel like an accessory they don't want, like I don't fit their story either way. Felt like I was invisible. Kept telling myself it was just a rough patch. The rough patch became years. Meanwhile, online, everyone still posts, being a guy is easy. Male privilege. Guys never have to struggle. I wanted to scream. The hardest part wasn't the jobs or the dating. It was that nobody cared. Not the way people cared about girls, not even the way they cared about me before. Before, if I was struggling, there'd always be someone to check in. A friend would ask, "You okay?" Now, silence. Tried talking about it in a group chat. That's just how it is, man. Even my therapist just said, "You're resilient. You'll figure it out." So I stopped talking, stopped reaching out. Even my own mom sounded different on the phone. Called mom. Told her I was struggling with money, maybe depressed. She paused, then said, "You're not a little girl anymore. Figure it out." Told her I didn't need solutions, just wanted someone to care. She said, "You wanted to be a man, right?" Then changed the subject to my cousin's wedding. Men are supposed to handle things. Felt like I was living in a world that only noticed you if you were useful. Useful to who, though? I was struggling, drowning, and it felt like nobody even saw. Started watching old videos of myself, back when I was a loud, wild tomboy. People thought I was weird, but at least they cared. Now I was just another dude who couldn't get his life together. The pressure kept building. In job interviews, the rejection felt colder. No smiles, no, "We'll keep your resume, just we'll call if we're interested." Tried picking up side gigs, delivery apps, yard work, anything. Took a gig helping someone move furniture. Guy in his 40s had a kid watching YouTube in the corner. We didn't talk much. At the end, he handed me a cold bottle of water, said, "Tough day." Nodded. I said, "Yeah." He just patted my shoulder once. No advice, no jokes, just that. We sat on the curb and drank. Felt human for a sec. Everywhere, there were more guys than jobs. Every guy fighting for scraps. At night, the loneliness was suffocating. Used to think men had it easy. They just don't complain. Now I see why. Nobody would listen. The world only cares about the ones who need protection. If you're a man, you're not supposed to be vulnerable. You're not supposed to need help. You're supposed to figure it out alone. No wonder so many guys are just numb. I'd look at couples in cafes, girl leaning into her boyfriend, laughing, being soft. I envied that, more than I ever did before. Not the romance, just the care. I thought every man would easily have access to women. That's where I think I've been lied to. Realized I'd traded a life where people tried to help for a life where nobody even notices. Tried to reconnect with old friends. Most didn't respond. The few who did, it was awkward. They'd moved on. Sometimes I think about what I thought being a man would be. Strong, respected, above it all. All I got was silence. Now, no job, no dates, no friends. Society doesn't care. Sometimes I wish I could go back, be that wild, weird girl again. At least then, my pain was visible. She was annoying, loud, stubborn, always had a scraped knee or wild opinion, but at least she had color. People cared enough to scold her. Teachers said, "You've got potential," even when she messed up. Girls whispered secrets to her during recess. Even when she felt like an outsider, she wasn't invisible. Now I walk into rooms and no one registers. No one remembers my name. Interviews blur together. Dates end before they start. It's like I got what I asked for and still ended up empty. Back then, I thought womanhood was a cage. Now I think maybe it was just a mirror, a way for people to reflect something back at me. As a man, they just look through me, unless I'm useful or dangerous. Nothing in between. Honest question, guys. When was the last time someone asked you how you were doing? Like really asked, not just "you good," in passing, but actually waited for your answer. Do you even remember? Because I don't. And I used to think guys who complained were just soft. Now I get it. There's no applause for surviving, no bonus points for dragging yourself through the day. You just keep going and hope someone notices. The irony? I used to think women had it so hard, and yeah, they have their pain, but at least people pretend to care. You say, I'm sad as a woman, someone checks in. You say it as a man, people say, that's life. If you say nothing, they don't notice at all. Now, I finally understand why men don't complain. It's not pride, it's survival. Kinda regretting all this now. The worst part of being a dude is the quiet you live in every day, knowing nobody's coming to save you. If you ask for help, all you get is, that's just how it is. Funny, I spent my whole life wanting to be a man. Nobody told me that being a man means learning to live with invisible pain. If I could talk to my old self, I'd say, don't believe the hype. It's not a privilege, it's a test. And sometimes you realize too late that the world only cares when you're the one who needs saving.